Hello and welcome to another Greg's Media tutorial. I'm sorry for any sound you hear in the background, but hey ho, you're just gonna have to deal with it. So if you haven't guessed already, but just by looking at the title, this is a slow-mo tutorial. Hey, everybody needs some slow-mo, and I'm gonna show you how to do it pretty well, okay? It's good for beginners, especially if you haven't got a million, trillion, bajillion pounds camera. Anyway, take your footage that you've taken into After Effects and put it into a new composition. Hey, now you'll see that this is the video from, a clip from game mode, where Jamie jumps over the can. Obviously, that's going to be what we're going to do slow-mo, because it's going to look cool. Right, first things first, if you hit Control K, or Command K, and bring up composition settings, what you're going to want to do is change the frame rate to half of what you shot in, or all the way down to filmic look. I normally do my compositions in 25 frames per second. What this is basically doing is when you slow it down to maybe half speed, so everything looks slower, but it's just half speed, and you're still going to have that extra frames because it's half of the frames per second. So it's going to be filled in by that 50 frames per second. So you've filmed it in more frames per second than your composition. So then you're going to have frames that aren't missing because it's going to fill in with those frames that you got with your footage that you shot. If that makes sense. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but you're not going to have missing frames. That's what I'm saying. Now, I always do my videos in 25 frames per second and then upload them. This is just because if I do have any slow-mo, or I shoot in 1080p and with some in 720p for the slow-mo, then everything will be in 720p. Everything will be in 25 frames per second. That way, it's easier. So, I always do 25 frames per second. It gives it a sort of filmish look, and I think YouTube capture videos around about 30 frames to 25 frames per second anyway, so if it's just a YouTube you're uploading to, just go ahead with 25 frames per second. Okay, so let's get the slow-mo down. You want to go all the way until the bit that you want the slow-mo. So in this shot here, I want it just before Jamie jumps over here. Right click on your little clip, so anywhere on the little clip, just right click, time, enable timed mapping, or Control Alt T, and this will pop up, timer map. Just click a keyframe where you want it to start, where you want your slow-mo to start. So I want it to start there, and I want it to end there. So just put your 2 points down and create a keyframe by clicking here. See? Okay, nothing has changed yet. We've only put keyframes in. Now, because you're going to be slowing the clip down for I don't know how long, but you're going to be slowing it down, you're going to want to make the duration of the composition longer, just because it's that one clip that we've put in to the comp. But if you're working in a bigger comp and you've got a clip that's shorter than the length of the comp, and you know how long you want it, you don't need to do this step. But hey, let's say you're working on this one clip, Command K or Control K, and make the duration longer. So 20 seconds or 30 seconds, minutes, just go ahead and make it longer. So I've made it 30 seconds long. Still nothing changed, because we haven't changed any of the values to these clips here. Now, to make your slow-mo happen, we've got our keyframes, one at the beginning and one at the end of the slow-mo that we want. Add the last keyframe on the clip. You'll see that we also have a keyframe at the beginning of the clip. They're automatically put on. These two here are automatically put on when you enable the timer mapping. What you want to do is take the last two keyframes on the clip, to the very end one and the one just at the end of your slow-mo. And you want to drag them out however long however long you want the slow-mo. So you see now we've got slow-mo just because we've made that time longer. See, it used to be there and now we've dragged it out. Right, that's basically it. I mean, you could go ahead with that and just drag that out to the end of the clip, because that's where the end would actually be. It does. After this, it's frozen, because that is the last. That last keyframe just indicates that that's the end of the clip. So yeah, that looks pretty good. Now this would be a rubbish tutorial if I just left it here. So I'm going to show you just little tips to clean this up. One. This is the one and only tip I'm going to give you, because I don't know much else, but this looks pretty good when I use it. So click on this one here, enable frame blending. Click it, and then that will do it for the composition, but it won't do it for the clip, because you need to click on the clip that you want. Obviously you don't want to do it to every clip, because then you'll get some weird funky looking footage. Now what to do is click here. Clicking it once will create this very weird sort of distortioned, like, hazy look. I don't know what you'd call it. It was just what it does is it tries to blend each frame together with a full other frame. It's just lowering opacity on some frames and heightening them on the others, and you'll see that we get this weird sort of motion blurry effect. Now you could leave it at that, you know, and be like, hey, it looks good, but I don't think that one looks good. If you click it again, you'll see that that goes away, but what it does this time is it creates, if you look here, it creates only it creates bits in the frame where there's actually huge bits of motion. So I think that looks good, and it makes it look really smooth, and it doesn't do it to the whole frame. So I think that looks good. I'll just demonstrate my point here by making it long. So you'll see that it creates bits around where there's motion, but this also distorts the image behind it and stuff, so you might want to be careful of that. But you'll see that's what it does. I could see if I can lower the brightness. Just it's not easy. Okay, but you get my point. It creates little bits in between where there's huge steps in motion. Now, you know, that looks pretty good. And I think you could leave it at that, but if it's making mess of anything else in your composition, sometimes it makes little motion blur bits before the slow-mo even happens. Like you'll see here, if you click on here, just to show you, if I click that off, you'll see that there's nothing, and then when we click it back on, it creates motion blur. Now, to stop this from happening, what to do is we've put it back onto the one that I like, the one that works best, I think. And if you just go to the keyframe, we want the slow-mo to happen, and Control-Shift-D to split the clip, Command-Shift-D to split the clip, and then split the clip at the last keyframe, Control-Shift-D or Command-Shift-D, and this is the section we would like the frame blending to happen, so make it look smooth in the slow-mo. So we turn them off, and they do not have any of the, see, we don't have any of that in these clips here, but you will have it in this clip. So you've essentially just added it to the bit where there's slow-mo. Now, just to prove my point, here's it with all the blurriness, and then there you go. But obviously don't use that one, that looks horrible. Plus it won't blend really nicely. See, that one looks really nice. full resolution here. See? Yeah, it looks really good. It gives you some nice motion blur, and there's nothing wrong with it. Okay, it creates little weird things here, but so does Twixtor, and Twixtor's just overly complicated. This is a nice and free way to do slow-mo with the Twixtor-ish looking effect. You know, I think this is brilliant. And then after that, there will be no motion blur stuff. Okay? And then you know how to render and stuff, so I'm not gonna bore you. If you don't, check out that tutorial. I've made one, so go ahead. But that's basically it. Don't do these cuts before you do a motion blur, and remember, you can always don't do these cuts before you finish doing all the keyframes and stuff. Just to show you what I mean is, if you do this, that'll blend it into the slow motion, and but if you done that after, it wouldn't blend it in. So that's blending it in, but obviously it wouldn't blend it in if you split the clip. Okay, well that would. Sometimes it doesn't. Anyway, send me your slow-mos, tweet them, follow me on Twitter at GrexMedia. I've started a Vimeo account, and that's where I'm going to put all the videos that I'm really proud of and short films I'm proud of. So, Business Ninja's up there, Devices up there, and the Grand Theft Auto videos up there. Hopefully more cool videos to come. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and get slow-moing. See you guys later.